Thank you. The Wrightstown community sounded off to village officials as they consider the possibility of a referendum question about data centers. Officials say the question would be on the August ballot. During Tuesday night's meeting, officials said it would ask people living in Wrightstown whether or not the village should continue collecting information on a potential data center project. The board says no formal proposal for one has been submitted. Neighbors say they've contacted village officials about concerns over the board's transparency on the negative environmental and health impacts that are possible with these data centers and the impact they could have on the community.
People will instantly think that you do not care, or that you're brushing it off, or you're relegating it to some other thing that does not make any impact on our community, on our lives, on our property values, on our home, on our health.
We have received emails and phone calls from residents that want us to gather the information so we can make a determination if this fits.
Some members of the public also floated the possibility of a moratorium, citing other communities that have taken that very same action. Several village officials agreed it was worth looking into.